And if there's one part of the thesis that you think is sort of underrated that you're kind of most excited about that people don't get, like, is it the Cybertruck coming off the line in a year? Is it this FSD price increase? Is it just China and Berlin coming online? Like, what part of the story do you think really comes to the top of the narrative this next year?
Battery Day is going to be exciting. So Tesla, up until this stage, has been buying their batteries from third parties, and that was the right call, I think, at the time that they made it. Partnering with Panasonic was a really good decision, so as not to have to invest so much time, energy, effort, human capital into cracking the problem of how do we make really good batteries when good enough batteries were already available for purchase, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Panasonic has this patented technology. It works. Let's use that. And then while we're building cars over the years, we'll have research and development really go into at a fundamental level, working from first principles, as Elon always does, building up to, okay, what are the opportunities in battery technology? How can we make this better? And just addressing those one at a time, working with Jeff Don at Dalhousie University, one of the minds universally recognized for acumen in this field, right? He's working for Tesla, trying to help them figure out how to make million-mile batteries at a lower cost than ever before. Hopefully, greater energy density, lower cobalt. Check all the boxes for how do you make a battery better. And I hope it doesn't get missed after it happens. Sometimes Tesla does. Well, Autonomy Day, you were there,
Oh yeah,
right?
it went over everybody's head. I swear, like even
Yeah,
Gene Munster raises his hand. He's like, "So nobody got that," but like that was the first question. It was awesome. They're gonna do that at Battery Day too. It's gonna be level gazillion. But I am so pumped.
yeah. I think people are going to hear sodium difluorophosphate, and it'll go
Is
just
that one of the key buzzwords? We should be googling that way
way over
ahead.
there. Yeah. Hey, bone up on that one now. That's your Battery Day tip.
All right, homework,
Sodium,
everybody.
yeah, you're going to hear a lot about it. I think
Why? Can
maybe
you? All right,
unless
you,
they have
you
a
mentioned this
separate
like
battery.
six times. I need to hear a little bit more about this buzzword. Dive. I don't even know
Okay.
how to say it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just it's a chemical additive. Jeff Don basically was looking for a way to improve battery degradation. How do we make these cells last longer? How do we keep them from fracturing? I guess the crystals fracture. And I'm so far out of my field right now, but I listened to the lecture. And I guess they form these jagged needles that puncture through the membranes that are inside the battery, and that causes loss. And then you have to turn off those cells, and it's bad news over the long term, and it's the reason why batteries don't last forever. Well, if you can put a chemical additive into the battery that discourages that lossy degradation over time, then your batteries will last way longer. So 4,000 cycles instead of 1,500 cycles. Um, that's way better, and it's more challenging to do in an electric vehicle than it is in stationary storage, because for stationary storage you can deal with range loss more than you can in the EV. You don't want your range loss to fall below 80% in an EV over time. With stationary storage, it doesn't matter as much. You can just buy more storage to supplement what you need, right? So yeah, sodium difluorophosphate. That's going to be a big buzzword, I think, maybe.
Love it. And so the other big thing that Jeff Don mentioned was vehicle to grid. And this was his talk that got taken down on YouTube. Love a leaked talk that gets then taken down that we got screenshots of. Nothing better than that. And where he talks
Yeah,
about how that your car should enable you to basically balance the grid. And the key breakthrough for that is if we have, if we're worried about only 300,000 miles on the battery, 150,000, like we have enough to move the car around. We don't have enough to be buffering the grid as well. But the second we have a million-mile battery, all of a sudden economic sense, the ROIC or whatever to balance the grid is totally opened up. And this is a huge problem that as more electric cars come, as more renewables come, as we pressure the grid more, that's why people are buying these mega packs as fast as we can. Like we need that
yeah,
battery capacity. And this could be a crazy new avenue of monetization of Tesla vehicles is turning on the vehicle to grid technology. How many people buy a Powerwall for $7,000 just so once a year when the power goes out, they can have a little bit of electricity? That optionality right there could be worth $5,000 a car if they have that feature. So not even to mention like the $100 a month service of you balancing the grid automatically with auto bidder. But I'm kind of just curious, riffing on this, because Jeff Don seemed to
Yeah.
let it slip, and then you think this is going to be part of the Battery Day thesis?
It might be. We'll find out. Yeah, I would love for it to be. The challenge with existing Teslas is that you can't do vehicle to grid right now because you've only got 1,500 cycles in that car. And if you were cycling daily, you'd be through that in 5 years, and that would be a lot less range on your car than you probably want your car to have. So if you can move that from 1,500 cycles to 4,000 cycles, well, now you can cycle that daily, and it's going to still have 80% of its range in 10 years, maybe something like that, I'm guessing. But plenty of people live in places where the grid pays you to take energy from them at certain times of day. It sounds illogical that it could never happen. I guess the more common case is you pay a higher rate during the day, you pay a lower rate at night
Mm-hmm.
when there's less demand in the middle of the night for electricity. So yeah, vehicle to grid could be done if the battery life was long enough, if the degradation was low enough. That's what I expect to hear about.